Hi, it's Jnwynn with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today I thought I would show you the pattern that I've been having a problem with. It is the Honeymead by Ayohibi Ni. I have done Tunisian for many years, had very little issues, but like I said, this one, I will show you in a moment what the problem is. What I'm going to show you is this little bitty chart. There are 15 rows here, and they go into a single stitch. When they go into that single stitch, you're going to get to see what happens next. You get this lovely puckering. You can see one of the previous rounds. It's a beautiful pattern. I love the way that goes. It's gorgeous. I'm hoping that when I do block it out, that it will, I'm going to have to kill it with the steam iron in order to get it to block out correctly, I'm positive, and to open up and see those nice lace stitches. But doesn't matter how I do it, my numbers are not going to come up to equal what hers do. I have a feeling that when I did some of the math, what I came up with to get her numbers is she counted this, like if you're putting 15 in this stitch, you counted it as 16, which really throws off the numbers. But, you know, I can work with that. The hook size that I am doing this with is, let me turn that around so we can see it correctly, is an I. Since I'm using my Dreams hook, which now Knitter's Pride always put out Dreams Symphonia. Now Knitter's Pride has their own, what they call just Knitter Pride crochet hooks. That's what these are. You can attach a cord or a stopper here at the end, but Ayohibi uses linked Tunisian stitches, so you can use a regular crochet hook, and that's what I'm using with this one. But I'm not going to work on that today. It takes a little too much brain power. But I am going to show you what I have been playing with. This is, and I do need to use my cord on it. Basically this cord is Symphonia cord, or you can use the Knit Picks cords. Both of them work on this. And this is a J hook that I am using. That other yarn is Karen's Simply Soft Light. This is the Deborah Norville Everyday Premiere that I got. I just thought I would play with it, do a shawl, that comes close to using the full skein here for the depth of it. And basically what this shawl is a simple Tunisian stitch. Let me get this light adjusted a little bit. I think that might be a little bit better, a little easier for you to see. And it's just a worsted weight. And I know I'm using blue. Blue is hard to see, but that's what we're going to play with today. Let me get that directly onto the hands. Maybe that'll help a little bit, and it doesn't seem to be helping any at all. Of course, the lighting's going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, and it's a kind of cloudy, overcast day here, so that doesn't help. The windows are open. Big deal. Not helping much. Anyway, this is Simple Tunisian. You'll pick up that first stitch here. Come on. Let's play nice today. And you'll just go along and pick up the bars of each stitch. It's hard to watch the filming and what you're doing sometimes. Sometimes you can see well enough what you're doing, sometimes you can't. And then when I get down here to the end, Normally I would increase. I'm going to get that off the table. That keeps making that clicking noise. And I'm down here to the last one. Now there are a couple ways you could increase. One is you could do a yarn over. And one of the first patterns I did yarn overs, and they worked perfectly fine for what I was doing. But this one I'm going to do a little different increase. You could go in between these bars and pick up the increase, but I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is, normally on this end you would go through these 2 stitches here. What I'm going to do is pick up the stitch there, and then I'm going to hold it, go back into the 2, pick up that additional, and I have increased 1 stitch. As you can see, this is a triangle. Started with 2. I like the simple Tunisian stitch. It's pretty much a mindless stitch, except when you get to that first, return pass. You're going to go through 1, then 2, and 2 all the way across. And I probably at this point really don't need the cord, but I just left it on. Because once it gets wider, it will need another cord. I am thinking about actually, depending on how deep this gets, picking up another skein of this so that I could make it even longer. I will most likely add, as I go along, get a little further, I may add some lace in here. If I do that, I will show you that and show you how I did that. But once again, I'll show you how I increased this one. Picking them up, Tunisian simple stitch. And there are very many ways to do this. If you need to learn, I would go to either Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd, or I would visit Kim Guzman's channel. Kim, I consider the queen of Tunisian. She has quite a few patterns out in Tunisian. She is an excellent instructor. And that's where I learned a lot of my Tunisian from when I was first playing with Tunisian crochet. Again, I'm going to pick up that stitch right there for my increase, go back in and pick up the bar for that last stitch, and I've increased a stitch. Return pass is through 1 and then 2 all the way across. When I get to the point that I am going to decrease, I again will film. That most likely will not be for a while. And no, I did not start this before I determined I was going to do my whips. I had started playing with this because on Facebook I am a member of the Hooked on Tunisian Crochet, and David Burchall, I have given you the link before in one of the past episodes. He does a lot of Tunisian. He is creating a Tunisian baby blanket for us to do. He's writing the pattern, working on it now. This is one of the increases that I learned through David. And I really like the way it looks because you do get that nice little edge on there. It does increase it just enough. I do want it to do a more slow, gradual increase. This is one of those things when we talk about shaping for crochet. Many times when you're doing a shawl, you'll have at least 2 stitches increase every row, if not 4 to 6. And I will talk about that when I film the Create series, which I'm planning on filming that tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be up this week, but we'll see. I hadn't realized how busy I am, so you know, you got to find time to film. But again, you know, Tunisian, there's many ways you could do this. I have done one where I do the Tunisian knit stitch, which is basically, I'm going to show you the two bars, the front bar, the back bar. For Tunisian knit, you would go between the two bars, pull up your stitch. But that actually makes this a little thicker. It does look like it is knitted, and that is one of the nice features of it. And there are different ways to increase with that one, but I decided with this shawl I wanted to play with the Tunisian simple stitch. There are many ways to add lace to Tunisian, and some of the lace is absolutely beautiful and stunning. And I'm thinking perhaps maybe a shell stitch with this one. And the reason that I thought about doing that is because I think when we come sideways, you know, these stitches are going this way. The shell would be either rounded this way. And I think it would be a nice little look to a shawl that is done from one end to the other. I do have shawls that I have created with Tunisian in the past, which increase this side, middle, and the end. And it's more of a V, and those are a little harder to work because you do need the cord with that, because you'll have stitches that kind of bump up on each other. And so you'll have like this mass that's up, you know, like a ripple. But they still do make some nice shawls that way. And designing with Vashti has done a lot of that type of shawl patterns. Of course, I think most of hers are paid for patterns, but she has some beautiful work. So if you're looking for ways to increase your Tunisian skills, I would suggest that you look into Kim Guzman, David Burchall, or Designing with Vashti. I do not know if she has a YouTube video, you know, a YouTube video channel. I will look and see, and if she does, I will link all of those below. But, yeah, get your Tunisian out, play with it. Let's learn some new stitches. Let's learn some new ways to use our Tunisian. That's my goal. That was part of my goal this year, to increase my Tunisian skills and goals. And so that's what I'm doing. That is it for today. I will see you again next week for Tunisian Tuesday. And you may be surprised how much I've gotten done by then. We'll see ya. Remember to be kind.